Breaking news from WPTV News Channel 5.
First tonight, extreme weather moves through the Treasure Coast. Preliminary reports from the National Weather Service confirming 2 tornadoes so far. The first touched down at 5 o'clock near I-95 at mile marker 107. About half an hour later, the second reported near Becker Road and I-95. That storm also dumping a lot of rain over a short period of time. The rising water flooding streets and stalling out cars. We do have team coverage tonight with reporters stationed throughout St. Lucie County, plus meteorologist James Wheeland is looking ahead at the rest of our week. It's been a very busy day, though, in the First Alert Weather Center, and we will get to James in just a minute. But first, WPTV's Ethan Stein joins us live tonight. Ethan, you spent a part of the evening on Nettles Island today.
Yeah, we've really seen conditions improve here in the roads and whatnot as well. I want to show you what I'm talking about as I flip the camera around. You can see the roads that we're driving on, they are just virtually clear at this point. You could barely tell it rained. Think about it, before we could hardly move through the floodwaters, and some people were not as lucky. Cleaning the drains on Nettles Island.
It's a wet mess.
And water from their garage is a full-time job for the Wismer family.
And we're doing the work. I should be inside watching a football game. The maintenance should be doing this.
Cars move floodwater around the neighborhood. Drains are clogged with trash, and pets can't stop barking.
Never saw anything like this before.
Mary Curtin feels lucky. Her drain is working, but she says it was a close call.
We were standing here, we're like, whew, thank goodness. Feel bad for the people down that block.
1 block away, the Wismers don't feel as lucky, cleaning up the storm's mess. We haven't really seen a lot of damage driving around and whatnot. We've seen little pieces of debris sometimes, think like trash cans or shopping carts, pieces of palm trees or whatnot, but no significant damage that we've seen on the road. And again, roads look pretty clear at this point. In Marion County, Ethan Stein, WPTV News Channel 5.
Thank you, Ethan. We now want to turn to WPTV's Joe Lopez, who spent the evening assessing the damage in Port St. Lucie. Joel.
What we've seen is debris scattered through the roads and flooding throughout the area, but take a look at this Winn-Dixie parking lot right now. It's basically a lake with this car that's been stalled out here for a few hours now. One man we spoke with says earlier there were 3 cars stalled out here. He says he was looking for dinner and was driving into this same Winn-Dixie when he drove through a flooded road, and then all the lights started going off in his car, and then his car stalled out.
I was like, oh, it's not that bad since I live right behind here. You know, I can make it to the store real quick, no issue. I was wrong. Unfortunately, I made it here. It kind of stopped raining. As soon as I hit this little spot, it just... I'm kind of upset. I was like, I wish I would have drove the truck.
If you have the AAA mobile app, you don't have
That was about 30 minutes before we met him, and he was on hold with a tow truck through our interview. And a problem we have seen driving around is that it has been pretty dark, and at times it's hard to tell which roads are flooded and which are easy to drive through now. Even the road by City Hall was blocked off from what appeared to be flooding. Port St. Lucie police says that there's at least 4 other intersections that were flooded tonight, with a few other cars that also had to be towed. Reporting in Port St. Lucie, I'm Joel Lopez. Back to you.
Joel, thank you. Rising water also causing problems at Hammock Elementary School in Port St. Lucie. WPTV's Chris Gilmore has more from that flood-prone area.
We're in Port St. Lucie right now, surveying some of the effects of that severe weather system that moved through our viewing area this evening, causing tornado warning for some, heavy rain for others, like here in Port St. Lucie in front of the Hammock School along California Avenue near the intersection of Savona Boulevard. Lots of cars right now making the decision of whether or not to make that pretty dangerous drive through some intense flood water covering this portion of the roadway. We've seen several cars stalled out today, having to be towed out by other vehicles or pushed out by others. Lots of stranded people right now waiting for those tow truck drivers, AAA services or otherwise to go ahead and save them. I'm sure they're busy tonight. We did speak to some residents here who say this is pretty routine to happen whenever you see severe weather like this, including rain. But they say flooding this bad, it's pretty rare.
It hasn't been too bad, but lately, I guess today has been really bad. You know, probably had 4 inches of water on the ground, if not more.
So is this the worst you've seen it out here on Caleb?
Definitely the worst, yeah.
40 years I've been here. This place has always been bad. It used to be worse. but it's still bad.
Now, I can see some barricades here behind me at the end of all this long line of traffic. Lots of cars turning around, but also some emergency lights down there. On our maps, we're showing that this roadway is obstructed / blocked off. Still some cars braving their way through, but as we hear all too often, turn around, don't drown. You don't want to risk getting in any kind of danger in these floodwaters. We'll continue to keep you updated as this weather carries on. Reporting in Port St. Lucie, Chris Gilmore, WPTV News Channel 5.
And if you're wondering, St. Lucie Public Schools, all of them will be open tomorrow as scheduled, January 16th. Turning to Stewart now, about 100 homes are still without power near the North River Shores community. It's making for a dark night for a lot of people who live there. And as WPTV's Megan McRoberts reports, many are waiting for the lights to come back to see if their homes sustained any damage.
Guys, don't stand under the power line. Power and fire crews have their work cut out for them into the night.
We're in a dangerous situation right now with the power company and fire trucks here.
Tediously peeling away and chopping tree branches from sparking power lines, where decades-old trees met their match with powerful winds, soaking rains, drowning nearby roads.
Oh, horrendous. A lot of rain, lightning, thunder, and so much wind.
Neighbors like Patty Tortorici call the conditions some of the worst they've seen slam their home so quickly. Her electricity knocked out by those toppling trees, and for hundreds of her neighbors around North River Shores and Stewart.
We're all a bit nervous.
People escaping their dark homes to watch crews work beneath the power lines. With those sparks flying, even a small fire igniting. A spectacle for neighbors already rattled.
Yeah, I was pretty scared. I've never been in a storm like that in a long time.
My husband was up holding our front doors closed.
That's unbelievable.
Because they were bowing in.
For now, this seems to be the worst damage they're up against. Once the lights are back, they'll know more about how they truly fared through the storm.